I've never withheld his ability to financially help with her raising.
I just want to know why she wants me to just financially support her after 15 years.
Court calls cause number 25-02-21390 in the interest of Michaela Gwen. Appearing today through Zoom on video is the Assistant Attorney General, Mr. Hawkins. Also appearing today through Zoom on video is Raymond Rivera. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And appearing today through Zoom on video is Christina Gamez. Is that correct? Or I'm sorry, not on video, on the telephone. Is Christina Gamez. Is that correct, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, that is correct.
All right, thank you. And Ms. Gamez, just so you're aware, for some reason on Zoom, on my end, people on the telephone can get very faint. So please be sure to speak up whenever you're testifying and answering questions, okay?
Absolutely, yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. All right, the way this works is it is Mr. Hawkins' petition. He gets to go first. But once he's finished putting on all his evidence, I'll give each of you a chance to tell me anything else you think I need to know about the issues before the court. So, Mr. Hawkins?
The state would like to start by calling Ms. Gamez.
All right, Ms. Gamez, please raise your right hand.
It is raised.
Thank you. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. Go ahead, Mr. Hawkins.
Ma'am, could you please state your full name for the record?
Yes, sir. My name is Christina Gamez.
And ma'am, you are the mother of Michaela Nicole Gwen?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
And who is the child's father?
Raymond Scott Rivera.
Where did the last name Gwen come from?
He is my ex. We got together when I was pregnant with Michaela, and she took his last name.
At any point in time, did your ex adopt or establish paternity of Michaela?
No, sir.
How would you describe your personal relationship to Mr. Raymond Rivera?
Mine, I'm sorry, or Michaela's?
Yours, your personal relationship.
There is no relationship there, quite honestly.
Do you think you'd be able to make joint managing decisions about Michaela with Mr. Rivera?
Absolutely.
Okay. So you don't think there'd be any issues y'all talking things out and deciding things for Michaela?
No, I don't believe so. We haven't had any practice, but I don't see why we couldn't.
Okay. How would you describe Michaela's relationship to Mr. Rivera?
Absent, I guess I would say. There really isn't a relationship there.
How old is Michaela?
Michaela just turned 15 on April 11th.
And what kind of visitation would you be comfortable with Michaela and Mr. Rivera having?
As far as schedule-wise, or how specifically are you wanting me to answer that question?
Just in general.
In general, I'd be comfortable with visitation as long as she'd be welcome. I don't see the need for any supervised visitation, anything like that. She's 15. She's a smart girl. She's responsible. So as long as she was welcome and she felt comfortable, and I mean, as long as there was an established relationship with the two, I don't see any problem with it at all.
Okay. How is Michaela covered as far as health insurance goes?
She is currently under Superior, but I have requested, I have submitted a change due to my income. So eligibility, it's just a matter of time before they respond. So I guess we're kind of up in the air. I'm not sure when that'll be cut off.
Do you have private insurance available to you at reasonable cost, ma'am?
I do, through my employer.
Do you know how much it would cost you to put Michaela on that?
I do. I've broken down the cost. I have 2 children, so as far as with a family, I've divided that by 2, which would mean that would just be her part. So for the health insurance, bi-monthly, I get paid on the 1st and the 15th. It's $126.15. Total cost in a month's time is $252.30, and that is solely the cost of one child.
Okay, so that'd be the cost of just Michaela, that $232.30?
Yes, sir. $252.30.
$252, excuse me.
Yes, sir.
And ma'am, are you seeking retroactive child support today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Has Mr. Rivera ever provided you anything as child support?
No, sir, none at all.
And has he been provided the opportunity to provide for Michaela?
I've never withheld his ability to financially help with her raising.
When did you and Mr. Rivera initially separate?
It wasn't a relationship, so to speak. It wasn't a relationship. It was just one of those things that happened, you know, just one time.
Have you ever tried to establish child support on Mr. Rivera sooner?
No, sir, I have not.
Why not?
Well, I honestly can't answer that question. Well, I don't know how to answer that question. I know that coming forth with, there wasn't an issue in regards to Michaela's paternity up until here recently, maybe a year or two ago. I've always given him the opportunity for a DNA test. Most recently, when Michaela's reached out, he's called me back and stated, you know, I don't feel comfortable, you know, talking with Michaela or establishing a relationship. I don't know that she's mine. And it was that excuse all of a sudden. It hadn't been before. And so I felt that the best thing to do moving forward was to get a DNA test, and of course also allow him the opportunity to assume the role, the responsibility of a father.
Are you wanting to keep Michaela's last name as Gwen?
No, sir, not at all.
Are you wanting to change her last name today?
I would like to change her last name. I have spoken with Michaela about this. I don't know if that is appropriate or not, but she would like to carry her father's last name, but also to carry mine as well. As far as the order and how those go, I will allow Mr. Rivera to make that decision if he would like to. But as far as carrying Gwen, no, sir. There is no desire for that last name to be attached to her.
So you believe it's in her in her best interest to go ahead and hyphenate her last name?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
Is there anything else you think the judge needs to know today?
I'm sorry, repeat that for me.
Is there anything else you think the judge needs to know today?
No, not to my knowledge, or not anything that comes to mind at the moment.
Your Honor, at this time, I pass this witness.
Okay, thank you. Miss Gamez, you gave us how much it would cost to put Michaela on the health insurance. Does your employer have dental insurance?
Yes, ma'am. I also have that cost as well.
Okay, can you get that to me?
Yes, ma'am. It would be $14.73 for the month. Let's see here. Yeah, $14.73 a month.
Okay, so that's the monthly amount.
Yes, ma'am. That's the monthly amount.
For just Michaela or for both of them?
Yes, ma'am. No. That amount has been divided by 3.
Okay, perfect. All right. And when did you first tell Mr. Rivera that he could be the father of the child?
That conversation took place on February 8th of 2018, shortly after he was released from the penitentiary.
Okay. So you said 2018?
Yes, ma'am. February the 8th of 2018.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Mr. Rivera?
Yes, ma'am.
As an unrepresented party, you have the right to cross-examine the witness. Well, this is not yet your time to try to tell me anything. You are not under oath. So anything you tell me right now isn't even going to be testimony or evidence.
Yes, ma'am.
You simply have the right to ask Ms. Gamez questions about the things she testified to. And I do require it to be in the form of a question. In other words, I don't want you to just make a statement and try to get her to agree with it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? So do you have any questions you feel like you need to ask Ms. Gamez?
Yes, ma'am.
Then please go ahead and ask.
Uh, Ms. Gamez, why did you and your ex or whatever keep my child away from me this whole time?
Michaela wasn't kept from you. You were in the penitentiary for just about all of her years before 8 years old. When you were released, you reached out to me, and I did let you know that Michaela was your child. You were given opportunity to reach out, but you chose to not establish a relationship with Michaela. After you went back to the prison, we had told Michaela about you, and she reached out. You guys communicated. When you were in jail, you sent her letters. You picked her up as soon as you got out. So I did not keep her from you, so to speak, but the penitentiary kept you away from her.
Okay, given the fact that I was incarcerated, still the whole opportunity, regardless if I was incarcerated, you still had her believe. Why did you have her believe that that was her real father?
I didn't have her believe that was her real father.
So
That
you,
was not a decision.
so her whole life
I'm
she knew
sorry.
him as
Okay,
dad.
wait.
Okay, I'm sorry, Judge. Go ahead.
Okay, you ask a question, let her answer it.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Gamez, please just answer the question asked, and
Absolutely.
then you can ask the next question. Okay.
Yes,
My
ma'am.
record, I
Yes,
can't
ma'am.
understand you. The record's not clear if y'all are talking over each other.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Ms. Gamez, were you finished with your answer to his last question that he had asked?
If you could repeat the last question.
I think that was the one about why you represented that apparently Mr. Gwen, is that right, Mr. Rivera?
Yes, ma'am.
Was Michaela, why you represented to the child that Mr. Gwen was her father?
Well, it wasn't solely a decision that I made on my own. It actually wasn't the decision that I made. It was the decision that my partner at the time chose to make for me. I didn't have a lot of say in that relationship. This is something that everyone is very well aware of. And as far as soon as you came out of jail, you were made aware of her. Despite him telling me not to, you were made aware of her.
All right. Next question, Mr. Rivera.
Okay. In 2022, I asked you to let's go halves on doing a paternity test. Why didn't you want to go halfway with me when I was asking for a paternity test? That we go halves, that we pay half the money.
I honestly don't recall that conversation occurring. But I will say that as of February 8th of 2018, you have been given every opportunity to request a DNA test.
But I've asked you before to let's go halves and you chose not to do it. You told me that I had to pay for it because that was my child. But how can I pay for something that I don't know is not mine?
All right. Ms. Gamez?
No, sir. Yes, ma'am.
No, just go ahead and answer.
My response to that is no. That is not how you brought that conversation or that question. You demanded that I get a DNA test on Michaela and that it was my responsibility to pay for it entirely.
That is not correct, but okay. And then another thing is like, why, like, why would you just, I don't even know how to answer this or even talk about this because I don't fully understand. I wish I had a lawyer. Why has it taken it so long? Like, even though when you found out that the paternity test that I was the actual father, why hasn't you said that Michaela wants to get why doesn't nobody wanted to reach out to me and even try to go beyond this and we could talk outside of this to even figure out what's best for the child or even for ourselves. Like why Michaela
Okay.
still hasn't reached out to me.
All right. You asked your question. Let her answer it. Ms. Gamez?
Okay. My response to that question is Michaela is a child. And I feel it would be the fatherly thing to do to make that initiation of communicating with her. Have you not attempted to contact her since you received the DNA? How many attempts have you made to contact Michaela since you received that?
You're not asking me the questions, ma'am.
He's right, Ms. Gamez, but you'll get your chance. So next question, Mr. Rivera.
I just want to know why she wants me to just financially support her after 15 years.
Because you haven't taken the initiative to start that on your own.
I mean, I don't even, for 15 years, I've never known her in my life, ever.
All right, Mr.
That
Rivera,
That's
do you have
it.
any
That's it,
other
ma'am.
questions?
You know what? That's it, ma'am. Go ahead, ma'am. I'm
All right.
sorry.
All right, that's fine. And I just wanted to clarify something that you said, and I think in the answer to something Mr. Rivera asked. Did you say that there were some letters that Mr. Rivera wrote to Michaela when he was incarcerated?
Yes, ma'am. He wrote her multiple letters. There was correspondence done electronically with Michaela. He even had his cousin Valerie come by the house and give her a Valentine's gift while he was incarcerated.
And when did those letters start?
Those letters would have started in 2021.
Okay.
Okay. I was incarcerated, man. Okay, I'll tell you. Can I tell you the whole story?
Look, you can when you're under oath, okay, Mr. Rivera?
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Remember, what you're telling me now is not testimony.
Yes, ma'am.
And I don't have to consider it.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay. Mr. Hawkins.
The state would like to call Mr. Rivera.
Oh, I forgot the question. Yes, sir. I forgot to ask one question.
Okay, I'll make a note of it and I'll get back around, let you ask it later, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Rivera, do you solemnly swear the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. Go ahead,
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Hawkins.
Mr. Rivera, could you please state your full name for the record?
Raymond Scott Rivera.
And you were the father of Michaela Nicole Gwen?
As of beginning of when we got the answer back in December or January, when we got the DNA test, yes, sir.
And how would you describe your personal relationship to Miss Gamez?
Never had one, sir.
Do you think you could make joint managing decisions about Michaela together?
I mean, if I had to, I mean, I'm more than capable. Yes, sir.
Are you willing to do so?
Yes, sir.
And how would is there any relationship between you and your daughter, sir?
There's never, the only part in the time, sir, is in 2000, well, she's saying 2021, my sister got a text message from Michaela talking about, where's my dad? I was incarcerated at the time in Lubbock County. Okay. At that time, you know, there still wasn't a paternity test, right?
Right.
So that's where the relationship started to begin with. And did I speak to her on a daily basis? No. Did I speak to her on only whenever I could? Was maybe like twice that year, maybe. And that's the only type of relationship I've ever had with with Michaela.
What kind of visitation would you be comfortable having with Michaela?
I mean, whatever is possible, sir. But at the same time, you know, how do I know if she's even going to be willing to come with me? Because like she says she's a child, but then she says she's a responsible teenager that understands something. And if she don't want to come with me at that age, she don't have to come with me.
Right, but there's nothing on your end that you have any issues where she wouldn't be able to come stay with you.
No, sir. No, sir.
Are you currently employed right now, sir?
No, sir.
How are you kind of supporting yourself right now?
I get unemployment, sir.
How much unemployment do you receive?
I receive $1,066 every 2 weeks.
You said 1,066?
Yes, sir.
And are you looking for any employment right now, sir?
Yes, sir. It's been kind of hard to find employment in here where I live at in Brownfield and surrounding places, sir.
What kind of work did you do in the past?
Well, the only work that I did here recently in the past was I was in the oil field, sir. But I got hurt, so then that's why I got laid off.
Okay, so you were laid off due to injury at that job?
Yes, sir.
How much were you making working at that job?
I was making like 22,
Normal kind of 40-hour work week?
40-hour work week. Yes, sir.
Any kind of typical overtime?
I mean, you'd get overtime every now and then. Yes, sir.
Was it consistent or just kind of spotty?
Well, it just depended on the jobs.
Would you say you normally got overtime in a normal week?
Yeah, I would get overtime, but it just depended on how much overtime you would get, depending on the
Okay.
jobs.
And what kind of jobs are you currently looking for? Is same kind of work or different?
Well, I've been all around, so I've been looking for field work, warehouse work. I've been at the Leprino Foods. I've been to the places here in Brownfield, the Guar Resources. I've been to basically anything you possibly think of going to work.
Okay. And sir, you stated you've been incarcerated most of this child's life. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
When did you initially get sent to jail?
The first time I got sent to jail,
Yes, sir.
the first time I went to jail in 2001 and I got out in 2003. I went back to jail in 2004 and got out in 2009. I went back to jail, no, in 2008. And I went back to jail in 2009 and got out in 2000 at the end of 2017.
So you went in at the start of 9 and got out at the end of 17?
Yeah, at the end of 17. And then I went back to prison in 2019 and got out in 2022,
When in 2022?
August of 2022.
And from that point of August 2022, have you supported your child in any way?
No, sir. The first day I got out of prison, right? The first day I got out of prison, my sister brought Michaela to the house that I was living at, and we got introduced to each other physically. This is the first time I've ever met her physically. And on that day, I guess she felt uncomfortable or something, and I never heard from her anymore after that. Until maybe, I tried to text her, I tried to call her, and then nothing was happening. And I just felt like, if she didn't feel like that, then why am I was trying to, even then I was still trying to text her like, "How you doing? Good night," or something. But then it seemed like all the talks I would have with her were just kind of short talks, and that was it because she don't know me. You know what I'm saying? Even when she was speaking about that other man, whatever, Mr. Gwen or whatever his name, I think his name, Mr. Gwen, she would refer to him as dad, even at that age. You see what I'm saying? So I just feel like I've been alienated from her whole life, and now all of a sudden that's just what it is.
Do
I
you
don't know.
believe you owe any retroactive child support for that time frame you've been out of incarceration?
Sir, I just find it kind of hard for me to be that the once the man was never in her life, once they left each other, then now she wants me to be the financial person in her life. You see what I'm saying? Because I don't understand that because I just feel like she wants me to be the financial person in Michaela's life, which
Did you hear Miss Gamez's testimony as to Michaela's last name?
yes, sir, I understand that. But if she really, I just feel that if the child really wanted that like that, sir, I don't understand. She's old enough to call me. She has my cell phone number. I just don't understand why. How can you say the child, if a child knows what they want and the mom is okay with what she wants, why wouldn't you let her call me? Why won't anybody call me and let me know, hey, this is what I want in my life. This is what I want.
So, sir, the main thing I'm trying to find out, are you contesting the child having a hyphenated last name with your last name in part of it?
I'm not contesting any of that, sir. I'm just contesting of all of a sudden you want that I'm just contesting the why is the fact that all of a sudden she wants to come after 15 years of her life, she wants me to be the financial person in Michaela's life.
And yes, sir, I can understand that. But as far as the last name is concerned, do you have a preference as to the order of hyphenation?
Sir, I have I have nothing wrong with none of that, sir.
Do you have any safety concerns with Miss Gamez or any other third party?
Sir, the only thing I want to know with any type of safety concerns is because I don't know anything about what they do in their household, and she don't know anything that happens in my household. So I just feel if it boils down that I would like to get both of us drug tested, do a hair follicle, and do whatever it is deems possible to make sure there is a safe environment in both places.
Has there ever? Oh, well, never mind. I'll take it. At this point, I'll pass the witness, Your Honor. Actually, one question I always forget, sir. Do you have any other children?
I have 3 children that live here in this household with me, sir.
Okay, that's 3 separate from Michaela?
3 separate from Michaela, yes, sir.
And those children live with you?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Are
sir.
those children older than Michaela?
No, sir.
Are
One's about to be her age. There's another one that's 12, and there's another one that's 10.
okay, so for the most part, they're all younger than her?
Yes, sir.
Now I pass this witness, Your Honor.
Are they your biological children, Mr. Rivera?
No, ma'am, they are not my biological children.
Okay, have you adopted them?
No, ma'am, I have not adopted. I've been with my significant other for the past 3 years, ma'am. And we just been that's just the way we've been going throughout like that.
Okay.
But as soon I have been thinking about marriage, yes, ma'am, I have. So that way they just become to me regardless.
No,
Or
you'd actually have to adopt them.
yes, but at the same time, I don't want to really kind of adopt them to change their last name because their father passed away.
Uh-huh.
So I don't want to take that obligation from them and be anything type of person where be like, no, you're gonna get my last name stuff. You know what I mean? So I respect
Yeah.
stuff like that.
All right. Do you have any other source of income other than the unemployment?
No, ma'am, that's exactly what I'm getting right now, ma'am. And I have been trying to find me a job. Yes, ma'am.
Do they tax that, the 1066?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's see. All right. So the last time you were incarcerated, did you send letters to Michaela?
Yes, ma'am. Because when she reached out to me, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, I did.
Did she write you back?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And then I think Ms. Gamez also said something about electronic, so I take it that's the text and possible email kind of things.
Yes, ma'am.
Did Michaela ever answer you on those at all?
No, ma'am. Everything went through my sister would call or I'd call on the phone, ma'am. Other than that, I wouldn't get any type of letters.
All right. So does your sister have a relationship now with Michaela?
No, ma'am. Well,
Not
she did
really?
at the beginning she did,
Mhm.
but then I'm telling you, whenever I got out, they represented her to me like no, they brought her to me, and after that, she just went ghost like she was scared of me or something. So I didn't know. Me personally, that's my firstborn child ever. Like, or now that I know, so I don't even know how to act because I'm not never around children. I've been locked up my whole life. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
me to be around somebody I didn't understand. I don't do anything like that.
All right. So do you even want visitation with her?
Well, ma'am, I really don't even know what's going because I don't know anything. I don't understand a lot of this. That's why I was trying to get me a lawyer. I would try to get me a lawyer to help me understand of everything that's going on because
Okay.
I
And
don't
we
fully
reset it for you to do that, Mr. Rivera.
yeah, I don't fully understand. And I've been trying to get me a lawyer that's affordable in my part to do that so they can break it down to me and see what's going on. And then,
All right. Well, that doesn't exactly answer my question, Mr. Rivera. I can give like a visitation that's sort of a small step up. Like maybe there's somebody that she does know, not necessarily Miss Gamez, but maybe a relative or friend of Miss Gamez who can come to the first visit or two, be there so Michaela's more comfortable, and then kind of do extensions out over a course of time. Or I can order no visitation, that is just as you agree, and you can reach out and see if y'all can agree to meet somewhere and you spend some time with Michaela. Do you want to spend time with her?
I mean, if I would get to know her, you know what I'm saying? I just don't understand. The only thing I don't understand about is how I don't even know her and she wants me to be the financial person on this
All right,
part.
Mr.
Because I believe there's a
Mr.
ALP.
Vera, you took a genetic testing, correctly?
Yes, ma'am.
Correct, you did DNA. You are the father of the child.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then whether Miss Gamez wants it or not, you are the person that should be responsible
Yes, ma'am.
financially for the child.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And I don't know that Miss Gamez actually applied because it sounds like she at some point was on the government medical assistance program. And that's an automatic referral to the AG's office.
Yes,
So it
ma'am.
may just be that she had to get on that for a little while and the AG opened the case.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then
But-
they got to do their job and I got to do mine.
I understand that, ma'am.
Okay. 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 Is there anything else, Mr. Rivera, that you haven't already told me that you want to tell me?
I just was trying to understand, like, you know, how could somebody get put on a birth certificate without signing an AOP and getting their last name? Because in this by the law in the state of Texas, it states that you have to actually sign an AOP to get on any type of legal document as concerning childbirth.
Well, depends on what they told them when they went in the hospital. And do you have a copy of that AOP?
I don't have none of that, man, because
Okay.
I can't represent anything because that's not on my
Yeah.
part.
Well, I know, because I used to work there, that it is the policy of the Attorney General's office when they open a case that they do go and look you through the database for an acknowledgement of paternity.
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand, Mr. Rivera, that just signing one isn't sufficient. It has to also be filed with the proper entity.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so even if somebody signed something and it just sat on somebody's desk somewhere or got shredded or lost, or they just filed it in their own personal files, then it's not legally effective.
Correct.
Okay.
Because the only thing I'm trying to fight there or any argue is because she's trying to say for retroactive, but you know, this whole time you want me to pay for back child support whenever you and this man were together this whole time. You could have got me I could have been paying for my child this whole time of her life. And even though I was incarcerated, that doesn't sit right that you still kept the child away from me her whole life. You know what I mean? Like you could have put me on child support way back when I was incarcerated and we wouldn't even have to have this problem because I still would have had a relationship with my daughter. And I wouldn't be sitting here arguing the point about the relationship of my daughter.
Anything else?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Miss, anything else, Mr. Hawkins?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Gamez, Mr. Rivera had one more question he wanted to ask. Did you remember that question, Mr. Rivera?
I already. Oh, let me ask her, did y'all ever sign an AOP?
No, sir. I would not allow Kevin to sign one.
So how did he get put on the birth certificate?
That's outside of the AOP.
Okay, that's all I have, ma'am.
All right. All right, Ms. Gamez, is there anything else that you think I need to know?
I do just want to clarify that when Raymond Rivera was incarcerated in Lubbock County, he said that the first time he seen Michaela was when he got out of that stint. Michaela actually was taken by his sister to go visit him while he was incarcerated in Lubbock County. That would have been in 2021.
I said physically seen her though, not an actual like actually like I'm talking about physically as in a person to person.
Okay. Anything else, Ms. Gamez?
I would like to clarify regarding Michaela's attempts to communicate with Mr. Rivera. She did try. She made a couple of attempts to try to communicate with him, but immediately after hanging up, he would call me and said he wasn't comfortable with Michaela reaching out because he wasn't sure of her paternity. So Michaela did make attempts. She was just shot down.
Okay. Anything else?
No, ma'am, that's everything.
Anything else, Mr. Rivera?
No, ma'am. There's no reason for me to do that. I got 3 kids that I raised faithfully. There's no reason for me to steer another kid back. Because I even coach softball, so it's not in me to just steer somebody away.
All right. Mr. Rivera,
Yes, ma'am.
how far, what's the distance in miles between you said Brownfield
Brownfield.
and La Mesa?
I think it's about anywhere to where between 35 and
Okay.
45 miles.
All right. All right. Then anything else, Mr. Hawkins?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
All right, then here's what we're gonna do. Court finds I have jurisdiction over the parties and over the subject matter. Based on the testimony and that there is apparently a positive or a genetic testing that was done that does confirm that Mr. Rivera is the biological father of Michaela. I do establish the legal parent-child relationship between Raymond Rivera and Michaela Gwen, and I changed Michaela's last name to Gamez Rivera. Hearing no reason to rebut the presumption, I do appoint the parents as joint managing conservators, but I do appoint the mother, Christina Gamez, as the party to determine the child's primary residence without geographic restriction. I am awarding Mr. Rivera the modified standard possession order. And this is so both Mr. Rivera and the child can get comfortable with each other. It comes in 4 phases. It will be attached to the back of your order, so you don't have to write it down if you don't want to. But phase 1 is basically 2 hours on the Sunday following the 1st, 3rd, and 5th Fridays of each month from noon until 2, and on each Thursday evening from 6 until 8 for the first month after this order is signed. Now, this month of visitation can be supervised by anybody Ms. Gamez designates. If worse comes to worse, Ms. Gamez, it can be you. Just don't interfere with the visitation. But Mr. Rivera must exercise at least 5 periods of possession within 1 month time frame before he can move on to phase 2. Phase 2 is from noon until 6 on those Sundays following the 1st, 3rd, and 5th Friday, and the Thursday evenings from 6 to 8 continue. This phase runs for 3 months. It is not supervised, and Mr. Rivera must exercise at least 4 periods of possession each month for 3 consecutive months before you can move on to phase 3. Phase 3 is still that same 1st, 3rd, and 5th, the weekend following the 1st, 3rd, and 5th Friday, but is from 6 p.m. on Saturday until 6 p.m. on the Sunday immediately following. The Thursdays continue. This phase runs for 6 months after completing phase 2. And Mr. Rivera must exercise at least 3 periods of possession for 6 consecutive months, at least one of which must be an overnight before you can move on to phase 4. Phase 4 is the standard. Now, the parents can always agree to vary that. You just can't do less than that time, than, the time frames that were given.
Yes, ma'am.
Now,
Yes,
as
ma'am.
to the support, I find that Mr. Rivera is currently earning $2,309.67. I order Ms. Gamez to place the child on the insurance available to her through her employer. However, I am limited based on how much Mr. Rivera makes on what I can order back as the reimbursement. So I do order Mr. Rivera to pay $200 a month in cash medical support beginning June 1st, 2025. And since that's his full pretty much his full 9%, it's the cash dental is 0 beginning June 1st, 2025. That makes Mr. Rivera's net resources $1,825.70. Excuse me. Now, I understand you're raising who you consider to be your stepkids, Mr. Rivera, but you don't get credit for stepkids. So it's 1 child before the court, no other children. He has a legal duty to support, guideline rate 20%. I order Mr. Rivera to pay current child support of $365 a month beginning June 1st, 2025. I entered no retroactive support judgment. I authorize wage withholding. All payments, Mr. Rivera, must go through the state disbursement unit. Can't give anything directly to Michaela or to Miss Gamez. I won't give you credit for those payments.
So you're gonna give me an address of where to make these payments, ma'am?
It's all, yes, ma'am, it's all laid out in the court order, and they might, since your unemployment also comes through the state, they might be able to wage withhold it.
So I have to be paying $565 a month.
Uh-huh.
And let me ask you a question. If I start working, correct, and I get my own medical insurance, because my job usually provide.
You would have to get a modification because she's ordered to carry the insurance through her employer. If you get it, it's a secondary.
And I would still have to pay that.
And you still have to pay the $200. Now, if you can get it and it costs you less and you want to come in and get a modification, you can do that.
Okay, so I'd have to present it to the courts again.
Or do it through an administrative order with the state.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but it will take a court order. It's only if she's on the government plan that you can just put the kid on insurance, get her everything, prove to the state you've done that, and they would have to turn it off.
And then even then, how would I get access to do that? Because on most times you have to get do I have to have the social security number to be doing that or not?
If you have, okay.
I don't know how that works, ma'am. I've never done it.
I can tell you this, that if you do the modification and that you are ordered, or the order is that you carry the child through your employer, the state's going to send a really ugly letter to your employer. It's really strongly worded. I've seen it.
Yes,
that
ma'am.
has all the information they need and says you will enroll this child and you will enroll this child now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So if that's the route you want to go, then I would contact the AG's office.
I just don't know. I don't even know how to do it.
I understand that. Okay. Okay. Everything goes to the state disbursement unit. Any unreimbursed medical expenses are split between the parents 50-50. So that means that realistically, whoever took the child to the doctor is going to have to pay any copay or whatever in full, and then send a copy of the invoice or receipt or whatever to the other parent. And that parent would reimburse directly half of that. Ms. Gamez, if you think you're going to have to come back to court to get that money, there is a process you do need to be following for that. Or Mr. Rivera, if you ever take the child to the doctor, it is laid out in the court order. Please be sure to review it. In addition, Mr. Rivera, the way the statute's written, I pretty much have to order you to pay the court costs. I make them due as billed to the Dawson County District Clerk's office in 30 days. They'll send you something in writing on how much it is.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Any other issues, Mr. Hawkins?
Just to clarify, Your Honor, and make sure, because I may have heard a wrong number. Medical support was ordered to be 200, and what child support was 300, Your Honor?
365.
65. Okay, I missed the 65.
Okay. All right. So what happens now is Mr. Hawkins is going to put all this in writing. They'll send it to me. I'll check it, sign it, send it back. And then the AG's office will mail each of you a copy of the order. Now, if anybody does not like what I've ruled, you each have the right to ask the district court to rehear any or all of it. It's called a de novo, but it must be filed in 3 business days. That's Tuesday of next week. And if you don't do it just right, you might not get very far with it.
I'm fine and understandable, man, whatever your decision is, ma'am.
Okay. I still just have to give you the rights. It's part of the job.
Yes, ma'am.
But you do have to file it you do have to plead it just right. So I do strongly suggest that if you want to do that, you at least talk to a private attorney about how to do that.
Yes, ma'am.
It's not my job to tell anybody to file or not file a de novo. I just had to make sure you knew you had the right to.